There you go. Chat's back on. We're all set to go. Sorry about that, folks. Woo! Learning
Oh,
process. Learning process.
Yep. So yeah, we left off with just kind of asking Drafty what made the top tier league come about. If you want to pick up from there, Jorge.
Got yeah. Sorry again. I wasn't paying a whole heck of a lot of attention. I know like you guys are saying that it was coming on. I mean, honestly, Josh, if you have another question, go ahead and ask it until I can get re-centered back in.
So yeah, Drafty, I know you don't just admin race leagues and race. You also have your own paint shop that you do for iRacing. Tell us a little bit about how you got started with that and just about it in general.
Well, I've always been a fan of graphic design. It was like one of the few things I was actually pretty good at in high school. And and I never really had a reason to get back into it since high school, basically. And then when I got into iRacing and found out you can make your own paints, like, okay, I got to go ahead and relearn how to use these graphic design tools and I'm still learning, relearn. I felt like I knew more in high school, but keep just trying to get better and better, you know?
I definitely know. And you've made a ton of paints for me and my team starting way back when you first invited me to Lucky Dog. I was making these like basic paints on trading paints and didn't know what I was doing. And just the progression I've seen from you from my first paint to what we have now, like the 17 truck I ran tonight with that beautiful golden chrome, is next level. So if someone wants a paint from your paint shop, uh, what's the price?
I normally charge $20 for most paints. The only thing I will charge more for is like any of the indie cars, so the Delaras. Those are just so much work. But I charge a little bit more for those just because it was a lot more
Yeah,
tedious
definitely.
stuff to do.
Yeah, I've seen
So
the template for those, and it's pretty insane what you have to go through for those templates.
yeah.
All right, so back on the.
And yeah, sorry, go ahead,
No,
Jorge.
I was
You're
gonna
good.
say, what's your thoughts on going back to the top tier and everything? What's your thoughts how season one turned out?
I thought season one was great. We saw from the get-go very few cautions. We had one race that had a lot of cautions. I think it was like right after the update too, or right around it. Martinsville. We don't talk about it. I know, but other than that, I mean, I think besides Martinsville, the most we had in a race the whole season was like six, maybe eight. I don't know. I was really proud of that. It was really good. Proud of those drivers for putting on a great season. Like, that's really who makes a season great. It's the drivers. Us as admins, we can only do so much. It's all about how everyone else races each other. And it's why we have a penalty system in place, and it seemed to work for season one, and it seems like it'll work again for season two.
Yeah, definitely. It was a lot of fun racing in it. I did race in it, and then I got kicked to the booth. But that was actually pretty fun. It was actually a lot of fun doing it, and definitely will be working on that. But no, it was a lot of fun. It was a great league. I appreciate everybody accepting me into that league, and then especially Josh, accepting me onto the team. So, a lot of great things have come out of it. And
I
Yeah,
think you mentioned it, Drafty, but I think the early success of this league was remarkable. I mean, right away, it was like 2 weeks before it was about to kick off, and you reached out to myself and said, "Hey, do you want to form a team in this?" Of course, we were all about it. We had some issues as a team uh, midway through the season, got it cleaned up, but the car count remained similar all year. The penalty system worked. The race chat was really, really clean, respectful, helpful race chat. We're gonna dive into what happened tonight, but in season one, I mean, it was just it seemed for the most part very simple for you, Kenny and JD, to show up on race night, do what you need to do, put your graphics together, and then review the race and call it a night. Would you
Yeah,
agree?
I definitely agree. Like I said, the drivers were just amazing. They made for very little work post race for the admins, and I could spend more time on the graphics, which was nice. And so I really appreciate them for that. And like you said, everything with Mike was always respectful, clean, helpful, at least 98% of the time for sure. And I really
100%.
gotta thank the drivers for that. Can't do it without them.
And I
Definitely.
think it comes from that diligent process of going through and having the rule set that you have and the very clear rule book, if you will, to outline the expectations and understanding of, this is what we expect here at top tier. We're not going to let it slide. Everyone's held accountable the same exact way. And you mentioned the one bad race at Martinsville, right? And a lot of people had problems, but Kenny himself had some issues and was held to the exact same standard as everybody else. There were no freebies or gimmies, and you got more sponsors after season one, higher, more bigger sponsors, I should say, and now opening it up into race sponsors and even further.
Yep. It's been really amazing to have all these people come on board and support what we're doing. Yeah, it also adds another aspect to this league is having a little money to earn for various things, and also the top four this season. And it's all thanks to them. It's a free league to join. Whatever anyone wants to put in goes into a winner's pool or something, specific that person's going to donate the money for. Like we have the On the Brink Award from Royalty
Yep.
Motorsports. We have oh crap, I can't remember the other one.
Press Gas
I was
Hall
about to
Ass
say
Full
Fresh Gas
Award.
Hall Ass
Oh,
Full
Come
Award.
on, it's
Oh
your
my
Yeah, like
award.
that's yours.
Forget the most important one,
Oh man.
Yeah, but that's just you get your own graphic to have for yourself. I make a nice little graphic. So that way everyone gets some sort of attention. Well, I like to be able to bring attention to everybody, so that's nice.
For sure.
Oh, yeah,
Jorge,
most
did you
definitely.
have any other specific questions for Drafty?
What's your expectations for season 2? Obviously we kicked it off tonight, but I mean, what's your expectations? What's your hopes for? We added a lot of drivers from last season to
Yep.
this season. Teams have filled out like crazy. I think we got 6 full teams. So I mean, what do you think?
Yeah. The influx of drivers is definitely unexpected. There really wasn't much advertisement done. I know Dan had posted a flyer on Facebook once, but I know like ADRA Esports, they brought over enough people to make 2 teams. It's just and we're gonna have some problems, but so we have a penalty system in place, and my expectations are to have that same caliber of driver in season 1 in season 2, and that's really what we're looking for.
Definitely, most definitely. And that's what's the nice thing is you guys are going to stay consistent. And Adria did bring a lot of people in. I was talking with Brady on the broadcast earlier, and they brought in a lot of guys. One team's full of pretty much just full timers that are going to be competing, and then the other team is of part timers. But they still want to race under that same banner. So
Very cool. I didn't know that. That's cool information.
yeah.
Yeah, and then touch back on that, like a lot of other teams that came and filled out their team. Like I know Revved Up's got a full team of 6. Mid tier's got a full team of 6. Cucko's got a full team of 6. We got a full team of 6. It's
Yep.
just I'm really looking forward to that this season as well. Like points battle's gonna be a lot closer than season 1 for the team championship, which is also $15 that you earn. as a team. It's not much, but it's provided by Marty's iRacing Paint Shop. He's a great guy.
Yeah, definitely.
So does good work. So check him out as well.
I just
I
want to
think on
shout.
top of the oh sorry, go ahead, Jorge.
No, I was just gonna say with what Caden, what he just posted, he's just said, I don't think we've ever had a good race for the first of the season, either in Lucky Dog
And
or top tier. So I mean,
we had a lot less cautions for sure, but I think
yeah.
the driver count was about 30, maybe a little under.
What for tonight?
For season one, the first race.
First
Yep.
race, I think there was 25 for that first race. Tonight we
Right.
had 34. 36 actually showed up, but two drivers didn't actually race. Dan Ames and Jim Thorndike. They didn't make the
Yeah.
green, but we had 34 drivers and 30 finished actually. So only 4 DNFs. So that's not
Yep.
bad at all.
I don't think it's considered.
Yeah, all things considered.
I mean, that's true, but
I think what drives that competition and the filling of the teams and these people showing up to race is the team championship, regardless of money. Even if there wasn't a dollar on the line, I think that adds another layer of fun and excitement to not only what the viewers are seeing, but obviously the racers. It really allows for you to push even further, harder every night to try to work your way into that top 10, top 15. I mean, in a field of 36 trucks, right? And earn those points for your team and have that to look at, because we all know you're not going to win every race, and you might not run top 5 every race. More than likely you're not. So gives you an opportunity to still have something to work towards and fight for and be a part of if your team is leading or potentially winning that team championship. Now, Jorge, you mentioned you talked to Brady. Let's talk about Brady for a second. Season 1 champion, dominated a good portion of the season.
Yeah.
Drafty, I don't know who found him, but where did you guys recruit Brady from?
He might have been one from the Facebook group.
Okay.
I'm not
Cool.
sure. Was he in top tier as well? Or not top tier, Lucky Dog?
I do not remember
I
his
know-
name.
My memory does not serve me well on that.
Yeah. I was just curious, but congratulations, Brady Floyd, on season 1 championship. And so
can I touch base on just a little bit on Brady? He had 5 wins in the first season.
Yeah.
Of top tier racing, and we still had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different winners.
Yep.
For season 1, which is pretty awesome. I like to see a bunch of different winners, and I hope we keep updating this all-time wins list.
Yeah, I mean, he did really well, obviously, throughout the whole season, but there was never a point like some of us got to in Lucky Dog, right? We all know what we're referring to. There was never a point in season 1 where I felt like there was no chance to go up there and win, or no chance to go up there and run a top 5 for anybody on our team or anybody in general. I felt like you were seeing these different winners and different people having success, especially through the first 3 quarters of the season. I think in the playoffs, people turned it up a little bit, and you saw a little bit more consistency with your top 3 finishers and who was doing the interviews at the end of the night. But it still was very competitive, and the playoff structure, I mean, that's second to none. It keeps people coming out. It'll keep the car count high. They can squeeze into that playoff spot if we don't have enough winners to fill them all. And then just that overall expectation and thought constantly that they could go out there and win a race and lock themselves in, and then, who knows what happens from there and get into that championship 4.
Exactly. There's a couple wild cards in there to spice things up throughout the season, including the playoffs. cut races. Like, so I like to keep it fun. You got to be good at all sorts of racing. We throw a couple of road courses in there, and make it hopefully just makes it fun for everybody. That's really what the goal is, to come, have a good group of people that race well together.
100%. We're
Most
going to
definitely.
jump into a deep dive of season 2 here shortly. We're going to take a quick second to mention our sponsors at Royalty Racing Network and with Royalty Motorsports. First off, huge shout out to Majestic Promotional and Branded Apparel. They are the reason, she is the reason I have everything that I have, and I am who I am. And coincidentally, the same reason I have what I have on. So the hat, the shirt, they are a merchandise company and a big sponsor of us. So shout out to my mother and her company for helping us do that. We can post the merchandise website for anybody that would like to support Royalty Motorsports. I know that's probably on the low end, since most viewers are probably teams that are racing against us, but whatever. And then a shout out to SM Racing Products. They provide button boxes, dashboards, flag lights, and so much more. Check them out, smracingproducts.com, and use promo code royalty for 20% off discount at checkout of anything over $150, which is a sweet deal. It is not hard to spend $150 with SM Racing Products because they have so many cool things, but you can save yourself quite a bit of money by doing that. Now, let's jump in to tonight's race.
Hold on,
boys.
before we do that, I got some comments rolling up here.
We go.
We got
Comments
some
rolling
Yep,
in.
we got comments. So a couple shout outs for your mom, Josh, from Caden and F Bomb. They both say love you, Josh's mom.
Right on. Right
You
on.
got Marty. He said he had a fun race and he had a good view from the air. I don't know if any of you guys saw that, but he got some good air. In one of the wrecks late in the race, yeah, he went up in the air and flipped, and it was actually pretty wild. You got Jake Raven. He said winning a race is going to be significantly more difficult, which
100%.
definitely
Yeah,
agree. And that's
fast
what F Bomb said as well. It's just like any other league that rises, that grows, cream rises to the top, and it's going to be hard to unseat them. Runs with Drafty for president. Team Mids here on top.
president.
And then I don't know who that person is. Brady won't win a race if Peyton runs with his whole team there, to be honest. I don't know who that is. It's
Okay.
Wafam, but
know.
all right. I don't know
If
exactly.
Brady's listening.
It's Wafam. Wafam. But that is the one that said that. I don't know who that is.
Okay.
I don't know if
Brady's
either of you.
listening, that's a challenge. And to whoever said that, Brady's not the only team in there either, okay?
Yeah, there's multiple.
And either is Peyton. There's plenty of quality drivers, quality teams,
Oh, that's
and
Latham.
that will show. But yes, Latham. We're going to talk about him here shortly in some things.
Okay.
But Drafty, first, we'll
Okay.
go to your perspective as an admin for Top Tier. What are your thoughts on tonight's race?
It was rough. I haven't seen the replay yet, but we didn't get to finish the race. The time right now, we had an hour and a half to do 175 laps.
You too, Garrett.
I got to see the replay, but it's rough. A little disappointed, but to go from what we had in season 1 to one fluke race where it was pretty bad. So I'm hoping maybe that this is just it. It's the one fluke race, and from here out it'll be smooth sailing. That's what I hope for. I hope everyone settles down next week, knows their limit, knows what they can drive, gives space to the people around.
100%. Jorge, you were up in the booth.
Yep.
So obviously a very different perspective than either of us. And What were your thoughts? What's your outlook and feelings about the race?
Honestly, it was a lot of just trucks getting loose. That was majority of the cautions was just trucks getting loose, and then obviously spinning in front of other people. People didn't have anywhere to go, or they just came down on them. Um, that's honestly a lot of it happened out of 3 and 4, as you guys both know during practices. I even drove the truck for a little bit. Coming out of 3 and 4, that truck can really snap on you, and that was happening to a lot of people. A lot of people were getting loose and stuff, and there were some nice saves, but obviously not all of them were saved. I know for sure there was one net code. It was between Shane and Adrian. Like it wasn't even close. They weren't even close to touching, and it just hooked Adrian. That was one caution. So I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. But majority of them were just car spinning by themselves and in front of other people, and there's people nowhere for anybody to go. It was just one of those things, unfortunately.
Yeah, and here's my thoughts on it. I think going into it, I realized, okay, this is really awesome because they're growing the league so much. But on the flip side of that, we experienced it in Lucky Dog. We experienced it in season 1, and it's a hard track, right? It's not an easy track. As you mentioned, Jorge, a lot of self spins or people getting loose that unfortunately turned into bigger wrecks with people with nowhere to go.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to understand that everyone's feeling themselves out. It's a really hard track. And with that rapid growth from one season end to the season beginning, I think that's important to think about and realize like, hey, it's going to be okay. People are, race 1, everyone's a little hyped up. It's not the easiest track. There's a lot of new drivers. And we're still learning people's skill level too. And so I think it's just one of those things where we have to say, you know what? Week 1 is behind us. The one thing that bothered me that was not around at all last year was the toxicity in the race chat. And Jorge, that's not something you could hear. But
No, I don't know exactly what happened there. That's between you guys.
And it wasn't constant. It was not constant, but there were some teachable moments where someone can say, hey, let's catch up to the field. Hey, try not to do that or try to do this. Things like that. And it, instead of teachable reactions, it was insults or sarcastic remarks. And it's like that doesn't help anybody. That this level, this racing league, there's not a minimum I rating and there's not a maximum I rating.
Yeah.
So we have everybody in here mixed together, which is really cool, and it allows for some of the guys that are just starting to learn and race with better racers. But it's important for people, the Bradys, the Kennys, the Lathams to communicate things in a constructive way. And I'm not saying any of those 3 said anything non-constructive, but
it should be. I mean, first of all, there shouldn't be any putting down or anything like that. Save it for, DM the person. If it happens outside my Discord, my league, I'm not gonna get involved. But it's in the rules. Everyone's got to agree to them when they come in. Zero tolerance on bullying, stuff like that. So anyone who, like I said, I haven't seen the replay, so I have to go back. But the appropriate people will be talked to, and it's not gonna stand. That's
for sure.
I queued up several times, and I make mental notes of everything's going on. Like I'm in the race, I hear everything.
Yeah.
So do the other admins. We're all taking mental notes of what we see during the race. And but like I said, I haven't seen the replay. Once we all see, it's not just me either. Once we all see the replay,
yeah,
We'll talk
100%.
and we'll go from there.
And
Hand out
and I'm
penalties.
guilty. I'm guilty of being angry or frustrated at times and saying things that I shouldn't, right? I'm not perfect. Nobody is.
Oh yeah,
But
and
we all
by the
know
chat, yeah, definitely that's the case.
that people make mistakes, and handling things in the heat of the moment is usually not the best way to go. But Derek and I, one of our teammates, left a league because the chat was it was extremely toxic. Imagine the worst official race chat you've ever been in times 5.
Yeah,
And it
all
was
right.
like, all right, this is just, there's a difference between frustration and saying something and going next level, insulting people's intelligence and
Definitely.
just being straight up nasty. I don't think that's cool. But yeah.
All right,
And
so
Jorge
yeah, I got
is
chat.
completely focused on the chat.
Yeah, so I'm about to
let's
say I don't
go
think you
here.
guys have the chat up. I do. So basically, what everybody's saying is the 17 was a cause of a lot of issues. He bullied a lot of people. He wrecked a couple people. He stole one guy's social security number apparently. So you had that. He was doing a lot of trash talking. So yeah, the 17 was a lot. That's what Derek's
Yeah.
saying. Caden as well. This Marty said that the 17 called him slow and he's offended.
Mm.
But no,
I wouldn't know if Marty was slow or not. He was behind me all race.
Oh, but no,
So-
but basically everybody was saying is that everybody's just having fun and stuff. But no, a lot of people did agree earlier in the chat was saying that there was definitely a lot of that and that needs to calm down and teachable moments and stuff like that. Shout out to
100%.
Jeremy Gill too. He commented, he was wish he could have been there. He's saying the track looks super slick. From what I could tell too, yeah, that definitely was the case. But yeah,
100%.
hopefully get you out there soon, Jeremy.
Yeah,
Right.
Jeremy, we missed you, buddy.
And if I could just touch base, I haven't seen the replay. We say a lot of self spins, and I get it was loose, but I don't know. You got a half hour of practice to figure it out, or I guess 20 minutes of practice. Sorry, but we put all the sessions up right away. You can go a test session anytime.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And it comes down to even so if you don't have time to practice, just make sure you drive your skill. It's okay if you're slow. I don't care. You can stick around if you're slow. I mean, get good at the 2-lap run for quali, then run slow for the race. I don't care as long as you stay out of the way and you don't cause issues.
Hey, that was me at the beginning last year.
Exactly. Like you'll get better. Running with faster people makes you better.
But everybody's joking,
That's what I
Josh.
believe anyway.
They're all saying that they love you, and Jeremy says he can't wait to run out there with you and with my buddy Josh. So, and then
I didn't take any of it seriously. I know
I
they're
know.
messing around.
I know, but
man.
I'm just letting you know what people are saying in the chat and everything.
Yeah, for sure.
Jeremy
My
agrees
race
with
went
drafting.
100 times better than my Martinsville race went. I don't think I will get a penalty for this race. Thank God. But we all know the Martinsville race was not pretty. And in that race, I did have some opportunity and I did upset a couple people. So it happens.
Yeah. Well, I know that I guess Drafty is still a little upset from what Marty's saying because he shoved him into the wall last season. He's talking about that, but he's like he does still feel bad about that though, so that's what he's saying as well. And
I know he didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah, and then you got Jake saying that the new truck aero models are going to make people learn throttle control because the downforce isn't there like it was before, which is true. It is very true.
I had so much fun wheeling that tonight, though. I really enjoyed it. I made a bad decision pitting. I was thinking we'd go all the way to the end, but like I said, time ran out, so I lost a few positions by pitting.
That you did.
End, but...
Yep, I have the results posted up over here. So when we talk about the race.
Yeah. So Peyton Howell got the dub. Is that right?
Yes, it is. Peyton Howell got it.
Yeah.
Over
hey, give us a rundown of that top 10 real quick.
Top 10, you got Peyton Howell first, Andon Mendenhall in second, both teammates right there. Latham Joyner finished third, Jacob Wilson fourth, picking up where he left off last season. Jackson Sparks in fifth, Aaron Brown in sixth, Brian Roenzano in 7th, Daniel Hindre in 8th, Caden Huck in 9th, and Brady Floyd will round out your top 10.
Oh, look at that. Caden Hike finished top 10. He said in the Discord earlier that he would give $100 to anybody that mentioned his name. I did not miss that comment, Caden. So you can Venmo Jorge $100 because you finished in the top 10 and got your name shouted out. So congrats on that.
And he was interviewed
And,
too, actually, at the end of the race in the
and he was
post-race show.
interviewed.
To me, 'cause I
There we
made his
go.
page.
Okay.
And Marty, you did not finish last, sir. You finished, where'd you finish? 30th out of 34 trucks that ran. So you didn't finish last. You had you had a lot of incidents last night, man. I felt bad for you. You got caught up in a lot of people's stuff tonight.
But it's worth finishing if the truck can finish, right?
That I know for sure.
You learn some, you get lucky a little bit, some things pay off, some things go your way, and you never know. And sometimes things don't go your way, and you run up front almost all race, and then get involved in a late wreck like Drafty Night tonight.
And Kenny.
And well, Kenny, yeah, that was there were some there's some playoff drivers from last season that finished near the back tonight. Kenny was one of them, myself, Drafty.
Yeah, like I said, I gotta say the
JD.
replay, but it takes a lot to piss Kenny.
Oh, he was pissed.
Well, I mean,
I don't. Oh yeah, you couldn't hear the
I
voice
couldn't hear.
chat.
I couldn't hear.
He wasn't happy. That's for sure.
Okay.
I don't blame him.
I feel like if that happens, you mean about him wrecking?
Yeah.
I feel like if that happens in a mostly clean race, he's not as frustrated. I feel like the way the race went in general just built his frustration. But again, I get the frustration, but like
I was
heavy duty recruiting. Yeah, both of you were, rightfully so, and I'm sure JD was as well. But the heavy duty recruiting and first race on a really challenging track, not everyone has the skill level of Kenny Kucko, and that's a compliment. He's fantastic. But people are still learning. For some people, I'm sure this is their first racing league experience. And they'll learn. But let's go ahead into season 2. Let's take a look at the schedule. So we just got through Iowa. Next week, October 8th, we got Atlanta coming up. Jorge, what is the race or 2 races on this schedule that you're really looking forward to this season?
The 2 that I'm really looking forward to? Put me on the spot there for the 2 races. One, honestly, it's Sonoma. It's gonna be very interesting to see everybody trying to drive that track. I don't know how many of you guys have driven it. It's very uphill in the first part of the track, very blind. So if there's an incident, you ain't gonna see it until you're on top of it. So that's gonna be pretty interesting. So I'm kind of excited to see that. And then another one that I'm very interested, if we have the same amount of field and everything, I'm very interested on Martinsville again, because Martinsville obviously was not fun. It was kind of like tonight. But it's gonna be, we'll see what happens this go around.
I'll say one thing about Martinsville, and it's that I'm excited. I'm happy that I'm not paying you by the hour for the broadcast, because that would become, you'd be in overtime, I feel like, for Martinsville. And I'm hoping it's better.
Well, I mean, I was in overtime tonight. We ran out of time.
Dude,
yeah.
We didn't run out of time at Martinsville. We ran out of time tonight.
That's true. Drafty, what about you, man? We got through Iowa, so we'll kind of, push that aside. But what's a couple races that you're looking forward to, and why on the schedule? I know you helped make the schedule, so you should have some insight.
First off, I'm really excited for Watkins Glen, and I have yet to drive it yet. That's honestly going to be my next purchase, is getting that. But I've always loved watching races at that track. Fun track. It's one I remember, like I said at the beginning of the show, I started playing on whatever old NASCAR game that was, and I loved Watkins Glen. So I'm really excited to do that one. And I'm a pretty big road course racing fan as well. But my second one, and it's hard to say, I want to say Dover because I love that track, but it makes me nervous just based on what happened tonight. So I hope that could get cleaned up.
Yeah, Derek, I
Second
can't wait
pick,
for that one too.
second pick is gotta be Talladega as a cut race. Like that's, I mean, I guess they're both cut races, which is fun.
Yep. Yep. I share that excitement for Talladega if I'm able to squeeze in the playoffs. I think that with more car count, that Talladega track or that Talladega race could be extremely exciting and definitely make or break some people's hopes for the round of 8. I know that's a super speedway, but I'm excited for that for playoff interest. But then I'm looking forward to Daytona. I've won 2 out of my 3 last races at Daytona. I know anything can happen, but I tend to qualify well there and tend to figure it out. And that was my first league race win, which if F-Bomb is still watching, I'm sure he remembers that one where we all ran that pink Starburst car in the 87s, and that was Talladega. And I lost to can't even remember who, but like by 1,000th of a second, I got second place. So
That was
yeah, I
Rhino.
got the dub. What's that?
That was Rhino.
Rhino.
Yeah, from Lucky Dog.
Is that's a nickname, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Oh, Ryan Barrett. Sorry.
Ryan Barrett. Yes, that's
Sorry.
who it was. I was like, I don't know who Rhino is, dude.
It's my personal friend. That's just my go-to to call him that. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Right on. Yeah. So got that first dub there. Been hot at Daytona. So 3 weeks from now, hopefully we'll maybe run a Halloween paint there for that race and have some luck again. But I like the fact that despite some people not enjoying Talladega being an elimination race, that it was kept on the schedule. I think that variety is important in playoffs. And you guys all did a very good job once again of making the schedule very different throughout the whole season. A lot of variety at different points in the season. It's not super speedways back to back or, thank God Martinsville and Iowa, not back to back, something like that, but yeah, so kudos to all of you guys making that
Appreciate
schedule.
it.
I know that's hard work, but
We tried to do our best.
yeah, I think you do great. And there's always going to be, the bigger you grow, the more people that there are, even if there's only 10, there's always going to be people that don't like something, and there's going to be people that love something. And ultimately what it comes down to in the schedule is everybody knows it at the exact same time, before the season starts at the very least, right? We got some late joiners to the season, but
yeah,
they got plenty of time to practice and work on a track if they know that they don't like it. And they got plenty of time to write their story before that, right? If you don't want Talladega to be an impact for you as an elimination race, don't put yourself in that position. Work on the track prior and go into Talladega on easy street and know that you can come out top 10, top 20, and hey, go in the playoffs.
Definitely.
A win gets you into the next round. So,
Yep.
like before Talladega, Charlotte. Okay, cool.
Yep.
So you got almost all the different cut styles of racing in the championship.
Yeah.
In the rounds up to the championship.
Yep. Mile and a half super speedway.
Be good at all forms of racing to become a champion.
Yeah.
As you should.
Yep.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, guys, let's keep it rolling here. We're going to go right into our deep dive for season 2. We talked about the schedule, covered enough about tonight's race. We're going to start with who we think is going to win season 2. I'll go ahead and lead us off. My number 1 pick is Latham Joyner. Reasons why: 5 races last season. He won 3 of them. 3 of the biggest field races of the season, mind you. So not only was he performing, but he was performing in high car counts. We saw him perform tonight. He got third. If he makes all the races or enough to qualify for playoffs and then is consistent showing up through the playoffs, I'm picking Latham Joyner as my first pick to win the Season 2 championship. My second pick is Kenny Kucko. He was a part of the championship 4 last season. He had a great season. He was faced with some adversity that Kenny did not deal with a lot in Top Dog of Lucky Dog, right, Drafty? Like, he was running up there and arguably the one that was doing it the legit way, we will say. And still racing clean, had a lot of talent and competing for those championships. So he did kind of, there was a rivalry sparked there between the top Audra, is it Audra?
Adra.
Jorge? Adra. Sorry to mispronounce it. With the top Adra drivers over there. Now, I know Kenny well enough, just like you guys do. He's going to push himself even harder. He knows when he needs to step up his game, and it has more competition to face off with. And now we've covered Iowa, and he ended up not finishing well after a late wreck. That's going to fuel his fire even deeper into the season. So Latham Joyner, Kenny Kucko, look out for either one of those to be part of the championship 4. What about you, Jorge? You're laughing over there. Am I making jokes or?
No, it's the chat just blowing up. You got Marty, you got Jake, you got Caden in there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you just got them just blowing up. So my pick is gonna be Caden because another $100 for me, and then Marty as well as my second one is another 101. So
Wait. I don't know if that was the deal. Let's not set up Caden to go broke here. If I knew that the deal was $100 every time someone mentioned his name, I think all of us would just sit here and talk about Caden.
No, he was saying no. If I picked him, he just said it in the comments. If I picked him, it was 100 for another 100 for me. And then Marty said it was 101, so I picked both of those. So those would be my 2.
For those reasons alone.
You know it.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. No, but actually, realistically, our race winner tonight, Peyton Howe. Obviously, they brought a lot of guys in, so I believe they're going to be running the full schedule. He's going to be running the full schedule. He was one of the few that actually sent me his sponsors and everything, so I think he is going to be running full schedule. So honestly, he's going to be my pick. I mean, he's very fast. He won one of the 3 races he raced in last season. Could have had 2, but with I think it was a late caution at Martinsville or something, but he dominated that race. He should have had that one. And then I think the other one, honestly, where is it? Sorry, I'm looking at the names right there. I mean, you honestly took the other one. Latham Joyner is definitely another one that I would pick as well. He was running tonight. He had 44 laps led. Peyton had 78, but again, a lot of those were under caution. So, I mean, not a lot of racing between those 2, but honestly, between those 2, I think it's going to be a great battle all season. But the thing is, too, is that you had Andon in there, too, that was helping Peyton. He was kind of blocking a little bit to help keep Latham behind him. And he was going to try going for the win in his post-race interview, but obviously the time ran out, so he never got that opportunity. So I think, honestly, a lot of the revved-up guys are going to be contending for the championship if they run all the races. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see, and we'll talk more about the teams, once Drafty gives us his 2.
Yeah. Drafty, you got any picks for
Yeah, honestly, I'm picking Mr. Jacob Wilson to make it to the final 2 for sure. He had a killer end of season 1.
Started off good with the 4th.
Yeah, and I just remember the end of the season, he was always up there, always doing good. I think he's gonna come in and just really kill it this season. And then honestly, I have a hard time only picking 2, to be honest, because I do think Peyton and Howard's gonna win quite a few races, but I think Latham is also going to get up there quite a bit. You can't count Kenny out.
No.
Definitely can't count him out. It's hard to really narrow it down, but
for sure?
My eyes on Jacob Wilson this season for driver points.
All right,
Well,
Jacob
Marty.
Wilson.
Yeah. Well, Marty has you. He wants you to be the champion.
Me?
Yeah. He's like, I honestly want Draft to get the
Well,
championship.
I would love that actually.
man,
Yeah.
I thought I was fast till I saw the top like 5 times in qualifying tonight. It's like, oh my lord. There's some real
The
I'm really excited to see some fast drivers in here.
yeah, the times dropped quick. The only reason I did not go with Brady Floyd because he won the most races last year, right? Literally the only reason is because he was the champion last year. And let's all be real, how hard is it to repeat in any sort of sport? Esports, football, basketball, the repeat as champion is extremely difficult. People start stepping their game up, working a little bit harder to beat you. There are teams in here, we won't name names, but they knew who they are. They've formed to compete against other teams and build that rivalry against other teams, right? So that's what starts happening. So he's on my radar as he should be on everybody's. But I don't think he's going to repeat.
Yeah,
this
10th
year.
place finish tonight. But when we
It's
do,
not
That's
a
good.
bad
He got a
finish.
top 10.
yeah,
Yeah.
after his luck. A couple things from the thing. You got
From the thing.
Jake from the comments. I got Jake saying the biggest thing that's going to get Kenny is his internet, and Marty agreeing because it is worse than McDonald's Wi-Fi. Which, I mean, it's true. He did blink a lot this race, unfortunately.
That could be a big
You got
factor for Kenny,
Dylan in
for
there. He
sure.
loves being a solo driver. So, I mean, honestly, he had a good race going. Had a mechanical issue, came back, got in the lead lap, was running towards the front, and then got caught up in somebody else's stuff. So, shout out to Dylan Canova over there. He had a good run.
Well, yeah, like I said,
Um,
I haven't seen the replay either, so I really base mine off of season 1 drivers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
know.
mean, and
No,
I
no,
think
I know,
that's
but no, I'm
fair.
just shouting him
Iowa,
out
like,
because he was in the comments and stuff like that. You
Yeah.
know, just give him some love. And then Jeremy posted, he's like, I got a couple things to say. Talladega has a playoff race and Talladega has a cutoff race, two different things. Can't
Oh.
blame Iowa for what happened tonight. It's over driving, and there was plenty.
I'm sure. Like I said, I haven't seen the replay.
Can't disagree. But yeah, I mean, consistency wins championships, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
There were guys in the championship. Was it 7 or 8? 7, right? Last year that didn't win a race.
Yeah.
And it was purely just off consistency, and that's okay. There's been plenty of NASCAR champions out there to not win a race in a season and compete for the championship. So
oh yeah,
Yeah, and that's kind of why we have the rule too, that you have to race so many races to be championship eligible. We don't want just some guy to come in, win once. That'd be the only race he races, and then show up for the playoffs. Like we
Yeah.
want everyone to get to know how each other drives and really create a good league.
Yeah.
Like you said,
yeah.
shout out to season 1 drivers. I hope these new guys can realize that we really did have something good going on, and we want to keep that going on. Look forward to seeing that from everyone in the future.
100%. I
And just
think that will happen.
Yeah, just like Jake said, going back to the not getting wins and everything and just being consistent. I mean, that's him. He got himself to the championship for
Yeah.
Jake Raven, and that's what he was just saying on that. A couple more jokes about Kenny's internet. He had races on dial-up and he's still racing. And then Dylan said there's a lot of slow reactions to people getting loose. Felt like some people got loose and rather than pedal it, they just floored it and hoped it came back to them. I mean, I can't obviously,
Yeah, it comes back to the different skill levels. I mean,
Yeah.
it's all going to start with talking to people. We'll handle penalties for what we do, but
Yep.
hopefully some of these faster guys will, reach out, and maybe if they got some free time, they can help out some of these slower guys and help them get them better. Because
Yeah.
I have more fun racing with people, that are all the same, close to the skill level.
Yeah.
I have no problem if, someone gets better than me. Awesome. Now that gives me something to work for again. Or, not that I'm not even that good, but
don't
Yeah,
sell
and
yourself short. You're
I
running
think
over the front.
definitely don't do that. You're part of the championship 7 last year, if you don't remember.
Yeah.
Comes down to the consistency that was there for every race.
Exactly. There you go. But yeah, again, whoever you said mentioned that, Dylan, I think.
Yeah.
That's a teachable moment, right? And that's the right way to handle it. Hey, try it this way, as opposed to get off the track. You don't know what you're doing. Like,
yeah, it
right way
really,
and wrong way to approach that same exact situation.
And another shout out to you, Josh. Jeremy loves you.
No, I love Jeremy too.
It's kind of circling back to that. Like, unless you're gonna actually be polite and helpful and have no ill intent or sarcasm with what you say, then yeah, be like, like, hey, this or that, you see something this, like, you should have gave him a little bit more space there. It's all good. Just keep in mind, friendly.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that people are gonna get aggressive. Say what you want in your team channels. We got our team channels.
Yep.
Bitch to your friends about it. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Excuse my language. But don't put it in. I mean, don't put it in Discord. Don't put it in the iRacing chat. It should be about race topics and what's going on in the race. How's my car? I need to pit. Lucky dog comment high. Hey, you're supposed to be inside, outside.
Yeah.
It's
respectful. Hey, nice save there, or hey, you did your best. Anyway, a little bit of a tangent there, but yes. So those are our picks for the winner of season 2. Let's go into team picks for championship. Now, obviously, we have our own team. We are Royalty Motorsports. We would love to see us win, but we are not biased and we are not ridiculous. We're going to pick real teams that we think have a shot for real reasons. Let's work backwards this time. Drafty, what do you think, man? Team championship this season 2.
It's going to be a tough one. There's a lot of good teams, a lot of good teams with good drivers on them. I honestly, I think the top 2. Okay, so we're gonna start with Team 3. And I'm not being biased here. I'm just being honest. Team 3 is going to be, I think it's going to be Adria Esports Black.
Okay.
Team 2 is going to be Hugo Motorsports. Team 1 is going to be Revved Up Racing.
Okay.
But that's just going by my gut here.
Yep. Drafty's picking Revved Up. Now, there are obviously so many new drivers, new teams. A lot of this will play out, and we can kind of remember this conversation and this episode, and probably 7 or 8 weeks from now have a much clearer understanding and idea of like, okay, yeah, we didn't know 4 of these guys from this team, but now starting to stand out. Or what are your thoughts?
Honestly, I think it's going to be, personally, I think what's going to happen, I think it's going to be between Adria Black and Revved Up Racing. I think it's going to be between those two. They had an off night with Adria. They got caught up in some incidents, especially when they were trying to come back through the field. A couple of their drivers, Brady being one of them, he spent majority of that second half of the race in the back just getting caught up in other people's stuff, having to repair his truck, and he still ended up with a 10th place finish. Adrian Fernandez, another one, he had into a incident, still finished 12th. I think they just had some bad luck this race, and honestly I think they would be up there competing for the win with the rest of them up there. But also, Kuku Motorsports too, they're right there with them too. They got great drivers as well. It's gonna be a fight between the 3. And honestly, I mean, I want to say Revved Up straight away, but honestly, I can't really tell. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be a tough battle for them. And it's gonna be fun to watch. I'll tell you that much. It's gonna be fun to watch, and for everybody that's gonna be watching the season progress. It's gonna be fun for them to see that battle for the team as well as the drivers' championship.
Yeah, I think the team championship is going to be super exciting because you mentioned some of those drivers having a rough start tonight, right? But that's every team. I think every team had 1 or 2 drivers that were in the back, things weren't going their way. And then you had some guys up front that maybe things play out a little bit different early, and it kind of evens it up throughout the whole season, back and forth. I think that's going to be cool. My number one pick for champion, and no disrespect to any team or any driver out there, I'm going purely off my knowledge from season 1. And my pick is going to be Coco E Motorsports for a few reasons. I feel like they can be the most consistent, even in these fields. We're going to see, right? I mean, Jim Thorndike didn't make the start tonight for whatever reason, but Coco had 2 drivers in the championship for Drafty. You were a part of them last season. So 4 drivers in the championship, 7 going into the round of 7. Kenny and Jake Raven, of course, being the 2 that were in the championship for fighting for that. Jim Thorndike finished 5th in points, just outside championship 4, and coincidentally a penalty dropped him out and put me into the final 7. And then 2 drivers that are extremely talented, just have struggled with consistency and being on the track, and that's Michael Weissman and Caden Hike. They both have an extremely high amount of talent. Their biggest thing is if they show up to races consistently. Case in point, Weissman missed tonight, right? So he would have made playoffs last year and put someone else out because he won a race, but he didn't make the minimum amount of races and he missed out. So that's my pick there. Caden Hike last year, very strong. He ran 6 races, 3 top 5s. 50% of the time he ran last year, he ran in the top 5. I think Coco still puts in the work and manages to get in that top spot. Teams to look out for, though, Adra Esports, black and white. They split Bryn George and Brady Floyd. Those were their 2 strongest drivers last year. Or hey, you're shaking your head no. Why?
White is part-time. They're just part-time drivers. They're not going to be competing for the championship.
Right. So I'm getting to that.
Oh, okay.
They split them, so that's why I say it's a team to look out for, because their 2 top drivers now are split, and Bryn is not going to be running full time.
Yeah.
And we don't know a lot of the drivers in Adra right now, for the most part. But I think their success last year with the defending champion is always someone to look out for. Now, I will shout out Royalty Motorsports as a team to look out for, not being cocky, but before things went south last season, we had 3 guys in the top 10 that were sitting comfortable to make playoffs, all 3 of which would have made it, myself, based off a win. The other 2 were running consistently enough to squeak in there, and we didn't have enough new race winners, plus a couple race winners that didn't qualify for playoffs. Derek Catt is joining us from from Royalty this season. He's a high quality driver. Kelly and Rick Doss are completely back from back surgery with some new equipment, so look for them to improve. Obviously, the new addition of you, Drafty, your championship 7 driver last year, and then Shane King is returning. He was actually the highest running member of the team last year when that incident occurred, but we're past it. So I think the consistency, the amount of work that we've put in just this week to get ready for week 1, it didn't pay off this week, but I think it will going forward. And when everything fell apart for us last season, we lost half the team. We were leading the team championship points race as well. So that's why I put us up there. But Jorge, who's your pick for team championship? Oh, you mentioned it.
You already
We
asked
went
me.
bacawards. Oh, I'm
Yeah,
losing it.
I'm like, where are you going?
I'm not even drinking yet.
I know, right?
All right,
but
cool.
chat
So-
has Caden has mid-tier and Royalty going 1 and 2, so there's that.
Okay.
Which got
Alright.
a lot of laughs and
Mid-tier
everything.
too.
Which
Got a lot of
but
laughs.
for-
Well, we'll show them. We'll show
yeah,
'em.
exactly. And then obviously just other people just commenting different stuff. You know, you got Dylan. You know, Rev has fast drivers. Just curious how it goes if they've upset everyone. I don't know any of that, so I have no clue.
It wouldn't be an upset, and that's why I made it clear from the
like them
beginning.
upsetting people
Yeah,
on the track. I don't know.
By being good.
I mean, hey, bring the A game, man. Like the competitiveness, that's what makes this fun. That's why I led with no disrespect to any team. I don't know any of them, so
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they look great tonight, and
yeah, I guess Dylan raced
got a
with
long way to
Peyton.
go. That's
Yeah, he raced with Peyton in late models a lot. I guess he never had an issue. Oh, I guess he's just saying that they're gonna upset everybody by coming in and racing and performing well. You know,
okay.
Well,
I mean, which is probably
we've
pretty
got
true.
a
You know,
couple drivers that deserve that level of competition as well. You know, like I said, that the more good drivers we have, the more everyone's gonna learn. Hopefully, like,
Yeah.
share them, help everyone shares the knowledge. Like I know, I as an admin, I have to go back and watch the replay anyway. But I go back, I see these guys that are running fast laps and up front, and I watch what they're doing, and I try and learn. And
oh
Yep.
yeah, definitely. I mean, that's
And-
what I did all last season.
Shout out to him though. I love the confidence, the cockiness.
Jeremy can't wait to go.
And
Gets back on the track with you. He's always had a super high competitive relationship with you for the past year and a half. So
me?
yeah, with you. So he's really excited to get back and race you. He's looking
I do
forward
have
to that.
Can I give a shout out? I don't know if he's still in chat, but I know I
Doubt
found
it.
him some chat earlier, and I had a lot of good side by side racing with him. Like it was very clean, very respectful. We went back and forth a couple of times. It was a lot of fun.
Tonight,
I just want to shout him out for that.
Who?
It was really good.
F-bomb.
Oh, F-bomb. He's going to be
Bomb
watching
and the
this
Serpent.
after it and everything. So
Oh, shout out to you, Bomb. That's some great racing. Had fun.
I agree. I was close to him a lot tonight too, and for several laps, I think he was on the low side. I was on the top. Then kind of crossed over, switched places, but yeah, very clean, very respectful. It's really cool to run with him because he was our, or hey, what you don't know is he was the broadcaster for the Lucky Dog League
okay.
Right.
solo
That's
show, and very, very high quality broadcast. And when I knew from the very beginning that I wanted to start a broadcasting network and get into that, but he answered some questions, helped me out a lot, and then just watching his streams, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I want to do that in my broadcast sometimes. And this is a really good idea. So, yeah, shout out to him for all of those things. Let's close here with bounce back driver of the year, as well as rookie of the year. For my bounce back driver of the year, I got Adrian Fernandez. He's part of that Adria team. I know I've talked about him a lot, but I mean, they were really good last year. He didn't race until race 9 last season, but put together some very nice finishes in the final 6, some top 5s, and some things didn't go his way. But we've seen that he can run up front, and obviously he's got some good trainees over there. So that's my pick for the bounce back driver of the year. Rookie of the year, again, too many to pick from. It's not to be unfair, but we just don't know them. You don't know anything about these drivers when they're just recruited from, blind. There's no feeding series that like we get looks at these drivers beforehand. But anyway, I think it's an obvious pick. Aaron Brown, he races in the. He's our old broadcaster, right, Drafty?
Yep, part of the
Cool.
Legends Network.
Highest one of the highest I ratings in the league, which I think says a lot. I don't think low I rating says anything about any racer, but I think high I rating definitely says a lot. And he's also a competitor rather, in the college eNASCAR series. So he participates in that, which is why they stepped away from the broadcast. But X factor is going to be how many races he can make with his commitment to the college series. I think if he makes enough to qualify, he's going to be in the playoffs at the very least, and I think he's going to be rookie of the year for sure.
I can see it.
Were you picking Jorge?
Well, I mean, it's the same thing with you as Adrian Fernandez for the comeback. Definitely, he had some rough. Even tonight he had a rough go of it here and there, but again, he bounced back, finished 12th. So I mean, and that's with a lot of cautions, not be able to pick drivers off. And obviously the race not ending as many laps as it should have. I don't know. I mean, honestly, for rookie of the year, I mean, do you think Peyton Howe created and raced enough to not have him as a rookie this year? I mean, he raced only 3 races.
Well, there's not technically a rookie of the year,
But if
right?
not, actually, I'm gonna go with from what I've seen
Because
tonight.
talking about season 1.
Yeah, okay, but fine. If we're gonna go with somebody that hasn't raced ever, I'm gonna go with Andon Mendenhall. He showed a lot tonight. He came from the back to the front a couple of times, and he ended up finishing second right behind his teammate. I mean, honestly, he's one to watch out for. He has a lot of same qualities as his teammate Peyton, and it's gonna be. I mean, he's going to be one to watch out for. I mean, honestly, I think he's going to make the playoffs. Probably was going to pick up a win here or there. He was hoping the race would get restarted because he was going to go for it, but unfortunately it didn't, and time ran out, so he ended up second. But honestly,
Good way to start, though.
I think him. I think Mendenhall.
All right, Drafty, who you got, bro?
And so, are we talking about this race or for last year?
Rookie of the year for season
prediction?
2, and then bounce back driver of the year that was in the league last year, but maybe had a rough go of things.
Okay, so I think rookie of the year this year. It's hard to say. It's hard to pick because I really don't know. Like anyone that finished top 10 or it's hard to say, but the replay as well. I haven't seen it, but
Wait, you haven't seen the replay? Did we
Not yet.
establish that yet?
I know, right? That's like the
I want
5th,
to make
6th,
sure
7th,
that
8th
I'm not judging. Sorry,
time.
man, it's so hard for me to pick.
Thank you, Kenny, though, since you're still thinking. Thank you.
Fair.
Appreciate that, Kenny.
He's an
I'm
admin,
pick-
so
I'm
we
picking completely at
No,
random.
Kenny,
I'm going
what his
with
comment
Chris
was.
Pierce.
Cheers.
Go ahead, Drafty. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I said I'm gonna pick Chris Pierce.
Chris
Completely at
Pierce.
random. He picked for 13th, but there's a lot of races left. He
All right.
I know.
He was running up front.
Number 13, so.
But he was running up front too. Just got shuffled back on
Yeah.
some of these restarts. That's the
Chris
thing.
Pierce, if you're watching, listening, the pressure's on. You were picked by one of the admins for rookie of the year.
Random pick. Don't let me down.
Yeah.
Money
Don't
on
let him down. You owe him $100. We're gonna turn this everything $100. $100 for everything. Cool. All right, right on. Jorge, you got those paints pulled up?
I got him
or
ready for
to
us.
go, I guess. We are going to do a cool little segment here that we're going to call the King's Royal Flush segment. Normally, we're going to run this not every week, but throw it in there randomly, and we'll have a topic that we pick the top 5 of one thing or another. Tonight, coincidentally, season 2 kicking off, we decided to throw in the paints, as I mentioned at the very beginning, which is over an hour ago now, that we're going to only pick the top 3 for each of us due to a little bit low participation in the showroom chat, but that's okay. It's hard to see those messages, and they get mixed in with everybody posting their paints, and we'll do something else fun down the road where maybe we'll pick a race where we just pick someone's favorite paint or our favorite paint. Anyway, Drafty, you got some paints picked out you want to shout out tonight?
Yeah, I have to say, one that, just going from what was in the showroom, like Dan Ames paint really caught my eye. Really digging the colors, the purple, the green on that, the way all the different shapes, it just looked great. I think he had the best looking truck tonight. Like second best, honestly, I got a shout out Nick Bob. Oh,
let's just stay with this one. Yeah, I'm gonna agree with that one too, because it's on my list as well. I have it up on the screen right now. But yeah, no, the purple, I like the way the numbers are. Also shout out to Andon Mendenhall. Thank you for watching, tuning in, sir. But yeah, no, I definitely agree. Unfortunately, he didn't run tonight. He logged in, but Possibly could have had some
Yeah.
technical difficulties, so we couldn't see the truck in action. But hopefully we'll see it next week at Atlanta. But that's definitely one that, I really like as well.
And shout out to JD for making that form. JD does some great work.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice
All
work,
right,
JD.
your next one?
My second pick, I'm going with Nick Bombs, number 1. I feel like that the truck looks it's simple, so clean with that chrome number.
I
It
gotta,
just it flows nice.
I definitely agree with
Well,
that too. I think that Josh wasn't in one of your top three as well.
yeah. So yeah, Nick Jontz, I think. I don't know, but yeah, in the
Yeah,
number one X series,
Yeah.
Chevy. I like uh the lines. The number is perfectly aligned with the chrome going up the side. And it's completely even there. The X series on the quarter panel fits perfectly. Even some chrome detail on the front. I remember when he was calling races, he always loved Kenny's truck. I love the yellow and black, and it shows here. And the chrome number, gotta show love to that because our painter Drafty did one of those. But yeah, huge shout out to him. That was my middle pick. That was my second favorite.
Yep.
F-Bomb Designs. Nice work on that one. Drafty, who's your third one?
All right, my third one, I got to pick. And I kind of have to just because my dad liked the way it turned out, but it's so simple. Is Caden's number 12, just white on chrome. Super simple. I love the side of it.
Yeah, that one I was not around Caden long this evening, but I did see him and I was like, oh yeah, okay, that's a slick truck. The white with the chrome did turn out really well.
Yes, it did.
Jorge,
Happy about that one.
you've given one of yours. What are your other two?
The other one, we kind of already shouted out JD and his another one up there. I just like the way that truck looked. It looked like his Xfinity car. It's just the colors, the way they match. It's a little, it's just I don't know. I just like the way it looks. It just looks clean. It looks fun. I just like the way it flows together, and I think he does a really great job on his paints. So definitely shout him out on that one. And then the other one that I picked, because I already had Nick Bombs in there as well, is going to be Kenny's. I love the colors. I know he did it for the Steelers, but for me, it's the Pittsburgh Pirates. So same, obviously all the Pittsburgh teams have the same colors. So, but sorry, Caden, not picking you. I chose these other ones for ahead of time. Drafty
Yeah.
changed this, so hence why yours wasn't up on the screen. So I apologize. He had picked somebody else's and changed it last minute, so I didn't have that one prepared.
My bad.
So sorry about that. But it was definitely shown on the broadcast, so people got to see it. So that's nice right there.
Yeah, maybe we'll pull up that one next week just randomly.
Just
Oh,
throw
by
it
the
up
way,
there.
here's Caden's truck.
Alrighty. And what about
Uh,
you, Josh? Your other two that you have, because you said Nick's as well.
Yeah, man. So my third favorite, I'm going with Zachary Ammons in the passing under yellow number 8 Chevy. I love the yellow and black, but then that bright blue. And once again, just like F-Bombs, the lines, the way everything lines up there, and has a place. The hood design is very cool, but that blue really makes everything pop.
Yep.
And yeah, I think that is a really, really good paint. So shout out to him. And then I already mentioned F-Bomb. So we're going to jump to my number one pick. I've talked about him a lot. We've talked about him a lot tonight. Latham Joyner in the Elite Cuts by Josh Evans Racing, Splash and Go Graphics, number 3 Chevy. That paint is awesome to me. I mean, there's a lot going on. A lot of colors mixed in there, but it flows so well. The number is really cool. And then the fact that all the colors and the numbers match with the sponsors that are on the side and on the back. So shout out to Splash and Go graphics. I'm assuming they're the ones who made the paint. I don't know if that's Latham specifically or whoever, but yeah, really, really nice looking car or truck rather. And easy to see.
Yeah.
Fortunately, unfortunately for me, I did not spend any time close enough up front to where I got to see that truck up close tonight,
Really?
but I will. Lots of
Mhm.
racing to
You
go.
get there.
So, but yeah, that's all I got. Any other comments that we should read from? Any questions from the chat that we want to bring up real quick and call it a night?
Caden was sad that me and you didn't pick his truck.
Aiden, we didn't get it till like 4 in the afternoon, bro.
And then also another thing too is that he wants so how the three of us have our squares, he wants to slide like yours over and put his truck there for the episode.
Next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that he said that he believes in you. I believe in you, Joshy, Caden. So he's running
Oh.
up front.
Appreciate that. I believe in me too. I've gotten a lot better since the beginning of the Lucky Dog days.
And then he got Marty saying the 69 truck was sick looking. Unfortunately, it was crumbled because he got caught up in a lot of stuff, which I felt bad for you, Marty. You know, he got caught up in a lot of people's stuff. Caden saying you guys got to work on my schedule.
Oh, well.
No, sorry, man. We got to prepare for this stuff ahead of time. Dude, I got to prepare for this, and I got to prepare for the broadcast, man. Like, I got a lot of stuff I have to prepare for myself.
Yeah. Jorge's a busy guy for Tuesday nights. Busy. All right, cool. Well, we're going to cut it. We're running right about an hour and a half, which was a little bit longer, but...
Actually, we got a question from Jake Raven.
All right.
You asked for them, so here they are. All right, you got to talk. Okay, we joke around. Okay, so this is from Caden. We may joke around a lot, but truly Josh has improved so much. Same with Drafty. Proud of you guys. All right.
Appreciate that,
So
Caden.
So this is what Jake had to say. Thoughts on how Atlanta is going to be in terms of racecraft when comparing it to tonight's race. Easier track to dive, field size difference. What do you think? What are your guys' thoughts on it?
I can tell you, I'm gonna be nervous until I can see something better. I really hope that next week eases my nerves and it's a good week and everyone drives clean and kind of get each other figured out here. I'm hopeful, very hopeful that it goes well.
Josh, what's your thoughts? I'll give mine last.
Short for me, man. I think it's going to be better. I think Shane brought it up in our voice chat. There's multiple lanes there. It's a little bit easier to handle on exit of the corners, and I think people will settle in and spread out a little bit. Bigger track too, so yeah, I think it's going to be a better race next week.
I think it's going to be as well. There's definitely the multiple lanes. I think the big thing, and people have said in chat and stuff, is, you know, when you start spinning, start feathering the throttle. Don't keep it smashed. You know, was a lot of the issues was tonight was a lot of single car spins, and they just were in front of other people. But then they got people that saved it. I mean, Josh, you saved one. You know, I saw you save it. You know, Drafty, I saw you get loose. I saw Caden get loose. You know, I saw a couple other people get loose. Latham, you know, Andon and everything. You know, I saw them would get loose and stuff, but they'd save it. So we had a lot of good saves, but it was just some other people just, you know, unfortunately couldn't have saved it. Cars right behind him, nowhere to go. You know, they plow right into him. You know, Josh had one thing happen to him too. Marty had multiple where he had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
You know, it's just one of those things that's unfortunate. So I'm hoping it's going to be a lot better at Atlanta. I think it will be, like you said, you know, it's going to be a bigger track, more room. So hopefully everybody will, like you said, settle and keep it clean. But I definitely think they will. Thanks for the question,
sure.
Jake. That was a good one.
Appreciate it.
Got anything else over there?
Nothing.
We wrap this up?
Nothing. Cool. Right now.
Well, for the sake of time, there will be plenty of more opportunities to ask questions, shout out different people, or even get shouted out yourself. From the three of us, we all really appreciate you joining, watching, hanging out, and we're going to do this every week, Tuesday nights after Top Tier, probably 15, 20 minutes after, at the very latest, 30. Drafty, huge shout out to you, man. I know the race was frustrating tonight, but you joined in and hung with us all night, which is what we
Appreciate it.
really wanted to do since it's week 1 of kicking this thing off. Every single week, we're going to have new topics. We're going to touch on top tier, but not as much of a deep dive as we did this week. We're going to mix it up, make it exciting, get some different guests, and even some different hosts. So it might not always be Jorge. It might not always be myself.
Yep.
But yeah, appreciate all of you guys for hanging out with us. And next week, we're covering fast repairs. That's going to be the main topic. We're going to deep dive into fast repairs,
Yep.
all the different strategy, the pros and cons. But yeah, be there Tuesday night after the top tier race at Atlanta. Hopefully we have some more excitement and better outcome from the race there. But everyone else, have a good rest of the night. Thank you again, and we'll see you next week.
Definitely. Thank you all.
Thanks for having me.
And Jake says, good luck, Drafty, with the review. It's a doozy. So, all
I know it.
right, guys. Good night. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.